biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dawes-Burton. We welcome you to RCR Presents Real Discussions. A lot's going on in the background, so I know you guys have been waiting since the top of the hour, but we are here, and we are excited to have this conversation with my guest today, but we're going to get to that in just a second. My friend. He says he's my friend. I like him. Real Chicks Rock is all about empowering women through various different ways. We do it through community service. We do it through our t-shirt line, and we're going to move to an apparel line in 2017, so we're excited about that. We do it through community service and through the arts, and so we're always happy to be here at Instinct Radio. They give us the opportunity to have these conversations, have our discussions, and it's just another way that we are touching the masses through media, so we're always excited about being here. But today, I'm having a conversation with James Theus. Right?
Theus.
James Theus. Hi,
Yes.
James.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Good.
I think most of your people know you as DJ 15.
Yes.
I always say, what's up, 1? That's what I say, 15. Or I say Jay. I have
Yeah.
various different names for you when I see you. But yeah, welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for
you,
being here.
yeah,
I
you,
feel good.
you do?
Yes.
You got to speak
yes.
into the mic. You got to talk to the
I
people.
feel good. I feel good. What's up, people?
Yeah,
what's going
up?
on?
What's going on? We are here. We thank you guys for all the shares and just checking in. So we want to get into it, right? So you are born and raised from Detroit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Detroit,
yes.
Michigan.
Detroit, Michigan.
Tell me a little bit about your childhood or just growing up there. What was it like?
The best way to describe Detroit to me is I would call it the concrete jungle. You know,
Really?
it's a great place to be because throughout that jungle and the concrete and just sometimes gray, cloudy days, a lot of beautiful flowers grow in between the cracks. So it's kind of how I view Detroit.
Wow. Brothers and sisters?
Yep.
You got? I know.
Yeah.
I met one of your brothers, but tell the people, how many brothers and sisters do you
One
have?
brother, 2 sisters.
Okay. And they're still in Detroit, or where are they?
My sister's in Richmond, Virginia,
Okay.
and my brother is currently in Atlanta, back and forth from Atlanta to Detroit, and my other sister's in Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mom and dad?
Detroit.
Okay. You mentioned before we got started your dad what was your dad's profession?
My dad worked at General Motors.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
And for all his life, long time?
For all I know.
For all you know?
Yep.
Still
Yep.
working?
No, he's retired.
Okay.
He's doing some counseling and things like that.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So as a kid, what was it like in your house in Detroit as a kid? The Motown City, right? So a lot of Motown, a lot of music. So tell me a little bit about that.
It was definitely full of love. Music always going on.
Okay.
It's typical childhood, you know,
right.
just brothers, sisters, friends, neighborhood things going on. My house, honestly, was, I don't know if you heard the phrase, that house in the neighborhood.
Okay. It's a
Yeah.
place where everybody came to chill out, and
Yeah.
hang out,
Live.
You had a stoop. They come by, sit on the stoop, just kind of,
The porch.
The porch.
Yep, big old porch.
and just kind of chill out.
Yep, just chill in the hood.
All
Yeah.
right. So we just doing sports and just being a kid, just having a good time, not really.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Sports, games. Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, dancing.
Okay. All right.
Everything. We did everything coming up.
Okay.
You know?
All right. So the music was just basically background for you guys. It wasn't something you thought of doing at that time. It was just something, filling in the air or.
I would say that the music was, being from Motown, people I feel are born into music.
Okay.
So music was always a first priority for us.
Okay.
Like a lot of my childhood friends, we vibe off of music because, we came from the Motown, so
Okay.
music was always pretty much first. Even when we played, I remember playing outside, and somebody always had a music going on.
Right.
Whether it was pulling up in a car, letting their music blast, or somebody have their boom box
Just going.
So from hip hop to house to everything.
So I'm gonna accelerate just a little bit, right? So we're a kid, we're playing. Did you have a love for a particular sport at that time, or you played all sports?
I played all sports, but I had a particular love for basketball. I just, the first time I touched a ball that I can remember, it felt good. It was
Right.
just like how house music felt to
got in
me.
your
It
hand.
just felt good. And from that day, I was hooked.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
I still am hooked.
All right. What do you remember? How old you were when that happened? Like
I
when
would
you fell in
say
love?
Maybe around 5 or 6.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So did you play any kind of street tournaments, or it was just in school, or just on the block, just playing every day? I'm just trying to kind of get a feel for this love.
Well, the love actually came from I have a childhood friend.
Okay.
It's more like my brother.
Mm-hmm.
He a little bit older than me, and when I was younger, he went to a known high school called Southwestern.
Okay.
Same high school as Jalen Rose, Howard Isley. Shout out to DB. I'll be home soon. But he was on that team.
Okay.
And he used to practice every day. He stayed across the street from me, and I used to look out the window and watch him. I mean, he would practice every single day with his music going on in the backyard at night.
Okay.
And I used to sneak over there,
Okay.
and that's when I got hooked because it was music and ball at the same time.
Right. Very therapeutic.
So, yeah.
So then you guys are playing, you taking this love with you in high school. You playing in high school now? Like on the
Yeah.
team?
Yeah, so funny story, my first game in high school, I actually started on varsity, which was rare back then in a city like Detroit, which is a basketball city with a lot of talent. So my first game, I started in high school. I had a triple-double,
Wow.
right? I think it was 27, 15 assists, and 15 steals or something like that.
Okay.
But that's when I realized that it was serious, because I didn't know how good I was. I'm just a kid from the hood playing
Right.
with my friends,
Right.
and I played a little bit of organized ball up until that point, but not a lot. And I was just more of a shovel the snow in the backyard, get my shots up. It was therapeutic to me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny because I didn't really like, which is weird, I didn't like my mom and family and stuff coming to the games
Really?
at first because I was so used to it being like a way to release and get away from the noise.
Right, right. So you
Whatever.
didn't want to bring the noise to the game.
Yeah, but I didn't realize how good it was, how good I was.
So when you hit your first triple-double, you were a freshman or sophomore?
Freshman, first game, high school.
Wow.
So after that day, it's like my whole life changed. Just as far as the notoriety and
Yeah.
being popular and things like that,
Yeah.
I ended up being, my last year in high school, I was voted like class popular and stuff like that. So it was like it was that moment. So
while you're in high school, were you thinking about college?
once I got into like the 11th grade,
Okay.
I was getting recruited pretty hard by a lot of schools.
Yeah.
And I realized that, I can't go to college.
Okay.
Because when I was younger, college wasn't really never on my mind. It just wasn't. But once I got to around the 11th grade,
Okay.
yeah.
So the recruiters are coming. They're coming to Detroit, checking you out.
Yeah.
So how did it happen? We graduated. Then we ended up immediately at Syracuse University. Was that our first school?
Yep,
Okay.
first school.
All right.
And the crazy thing about Syracuse is a lot of people don't know that was my first visit. When you're getting recruited, I don't know how many visits you get now, but that back then I think it was maybe 5.
Okay.
And I had some visits set up to other schools, and Syracuse was the first school, and I committed
Right away.
right away on the way back to the airport, leaving from my visit.
Was
So,
it something there that just said this is where you need to be?
Yes, it was. I think once I got around the guys, and my visit was just such a nice visit. It was still cold.
Right.
It was New York,
Yeah.
so it was different.
Yeah.
It's my first time being in New York.
Big
so,
ups. Big
yeah,
ups.
it was
big
like
ups.
it was like the whole history of the point guards in New York.
Yeah.
When I was in college, and even still to this day, I mean, New York is loaded with point guards.
That's
So
right.
it was just like, the type of person I am, I wanted to be competing against the best because I thought I was better than them.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
it was respect, but
Yeah.
I wanted to go where the best people, to me, in my position,
Right.
were playing. And
Okay.
I felt like the Big East
Right.
was
it?
and it was it. I mean, so, and I also had ties to Detroit, to Syracuse with former mayor of Detroit, Dave Bing. Shout out to Dave Bing, Todd Bergen, and of course Derek Coleman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
them guys were
Those
like,
guys. All
yeah,
right.
I watched them and kind of built a relationship with a few of them guys. So that was another big influence.
So you go on a scholarship, or how did you?
Yeah, I go on a scholarship.
Fantastic.
I actually committed my junior year. So
Junior year,
high
high
school.
school.
Yep.
So you
Going
floating
into
you floating in the senior year because you
Oh
already
yeah,
know.
senior year. It was time. The type person I am. It was time to hook all my boys up with scholarships. So that's what I did. Shout out to Mike, Kelly, Leland, D1, Sam,
Just
everybody,
the whole
EC,
crew.
Fred D, everybody.
Yeah, just the whole crew. Big ups to Detroit. Big ups.
up to the D.
Yeah, everybody's watching. Everybody's watching you.
Yeah.
They're proud of you. So you get a full scholarship junior year in high school. You're really excited about it. You go into Syracuse, right? So now you're there. You got New York in your face. How did you do your first freshman year in Syracuse?
My freshman year, I didn't play that much, but I did good.
Okay.
I mean, for when I got in the game,
Right.
I showed signs of, I'll be all right.
Okay.
Because I didn't have a problem with sitting because the deal was that I'll play and have a chance to start my sophomore year because I was playing behind a senior anyway. Shout out to Alan Griffin. He did really well. And that was his year. I mean, he was a senior.
Yeah,
so
so
it
you
was
had to
like
get
I
it.
didn't mind.
You're right. So
So-
you really started to play more in your sophomore and junior years.
Was sophomore year. I only played 2 years.
Okay.
And then I transferred home
Okay.
to University of Detroit.
Okay. So you didn't
Shout
finish
out
at
to the Titans.
Syracuse. All right.
Yeah.
So all that
But I'm
footage.
still in the record books.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about that. So all that footage that we see, right? Because I see you on social media. You do a lot of posting. You throw a little Throwback Thursday, some flashbacks and things, and you was balling with Brett Musburger, like calling the shots, like for NCAA spots and games and playoffs and stuff. So, what were your records? Like, what happened?
Well, my sophomore year, the year I played, I set a record for steals in a season.
Wow.
Which was 1-on-1. I don't know if it's been broken.
Okay.
I was in the top 3,
Okay.
I think 3 or 4 in assist to turnover ratio. So I did pretty good. I had
That's
a couple
good.
games where I had a double-double.
Yeah.
I played with some really good guys, some guys that had long careers in the NBA. And the crazy thing about that situation is I left, the year that I left, it's the year they won a championship. I would have been a starting point guard
Yeah.
on that team with Melo and McNamara and them guys.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah, it was a good year.
it was a real.
It was a really good year. So let's talk about this. So it's real hot in Syracuse, right? You doing it, and you decide what made you decide to come back to Detroit?
honestly, I got my then girlfriend pregnant
Okay.
with my daughter,
Okay.
and I just felt like it was time to make a change and go home because I didn't feel like at the time being a 18, 19-year-old kid, I was scared. I didn't know if I was going to be able to play the type of game that I wanted to
Right.
at Syracuse.
Right.
Me and Boeheim, much respect to Boeheim. He's a great man. Now that I'm older, you realize different things. But at that time, I wanted to do more than just set people up and pass the ball, assist. I came out of high school a scorer. So I felt like I made the transition pretty good in college, playing a point guard, all around point guard, but I wanted to score more. And so those two things kind of was the reason. My daughter, and just I didn't really know if I were going to be able to flourish the way I wanted to in his system.
Okay. All right. So now you come back to Detroit. You got a baby coming, right? At this point, what are you, 19, 20?
Yep.
Okay. So then do we go back to college or we start finding a job? What do we do when we come back to Detroit?
Well, I go home and I transfer to University of Detroit.
Okay.
Detroit Mercy. Shout out to the Titans. So that was pretty cool because I got a chance to play for a coach that I knew for a long time.
Okay.
Growing up, going to his camps, Perry Watson. Got a chance to be around my family. So that was a good experience. Excuse me, a good experience.
Okay. All right. Did we finish college? We graduated?
Yep, graduated.
Okay. And we majored in what?
Liberal arts.
Okay.
With a concentration in education.
So then we finished college, we start working. What are we doing?
I played ball overseas.
Oh, really?
For a while, yeah.
So we still doing the ball thing.
Yeah, we still doing it.
We still doing the ball thing.
Yeah, I was chasing it.
Yeah, you dream
I
chasing.
was dream chasing.
Dream chasing.
Dream chasing.
Yeah, point to the
Yeah.
shirt. Dream chasing. 1-5. Dream
Go
chasing.
get you one.
Yeah, get you one. We're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
So you come back. Let me make sure I get the timelines right. So we go to New York, Syracuse. We leave when it's hot. But we had reasons for why we were leaving. Our we wanted to be a father, got a daughter coming. We just felt like if we stayed in that path, it wasn't going to give us what we needed, where we wanted to be. So we come back, we go to college in Detroit, we get the degree. Then what? Somebody comes to you and say, "I want you to play in Europe." Like, how did that happen?
Well, I had a assistant coach at the time, which is now the head coach at University of Detroit. Shout out to Bakari Alexander. He told me that he had a guy that wanted to possibly represent me as an agent. So I met with him, and we became pretty good friends. I consider him like a brother. Shout out to William Phillips. So me and him built a relationship, and he sent me to a camp over in Italy with pro players and college guys that was trying to get overseas. It was kind of like a big camp to let coaches in Europe see all the talent.
Okay.
And I did really well in that camp. And when I came back, that's when I started getting a couple offers and stuff, and that's how it started.
Okay. So how long did you play overseas?
About a year and a half. Yeah.
Did your daughter come with you, or they were still here in the States?
In the States.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much the reason I stopped.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't want to bring them over, or no?
No, because at that time I was a single father, so I wasn't married. Me and her mother wasn't together at that time.
Okay.
So it was just time to become a father.
All right. Okay. So now we back. We back in the D.
We back.
All right. We done did Syracuse. We done played European pro ball, right? So we back. How old is our baby girl now?
3.
She's 3.
Well, 4.
Okay.
About 4.
About 4 years
4 or
old.
5.
We real tight. Me and baby girl, you and her real tight. So are we working? What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of working. At that time, my agent, he had a couple opportunities for me to work just to keep money in my pocket while I was going to try out for the NBDL. I think it's the NBDL, which is the minor league of the NBA.
NBA.
So the goal now was to get to the NBA. So by the time I finished playing overseas, playing in college. By the time I got back to the States and start trying to be a father, working, and still trying to do the grind with the basketball, I just kind of lost my drive for the basketball.
Okay.
You know, because it was a tough road. You know, it's hard to make it in the NBA. It's only so many teams.
Right.
It's a lot to go on with that. You
Right.
know?
But you did a lot. To your credit, you did a lot with what you had. I mean, realistically, because a lot of people don't get scholarships. They don't go to Big E schools. You know, like for them to be checking you, you did big things at a high school level, you know, to get the numbers, for people to start checking you and the recruiters to come. So, you know, you did a lot of great things from a ball perspective to get there. A lot of people don't play in Europe. You play for a year and a half. And you know, I think it's important that people recognize the fact that it's not that your time expired. You made like these decisions, like you're maturing. Each time you hit a milestone, you're like, you know what, I need to change something because there's some responsibilities or some things that I need to do. So that, I mean, to your credit, that's excellent, because it's not like you were an expired ball player, you blew out your knee or anything like that. Your future was really promising. You're like, but I think there's something else I need to be doing. So now you're in Detroit. You have your daughter, you're a single father. Did you stay in Detroit all this time, or did you move about, started to look at different cities? It's all right.
Well, my daughter, her mother, they moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. When she was maybe 3 or 4, and around that time, that's when I stayed in Detroit, went overseas. And so when I came back, my daughter was in Charlotte. Okay. And that's when I felt like my next move was to get closer to her. Right. Instead of just getting her for summers and some holidays. You know, that was just not enough for me, you know, because of the way I was raised. Right. You know, I was raised with tightness and family. We don't do stuff like that in our family. So that's when I moved to Atlanta.
Oh. Ooh, okay. All right. So your daughter's in Charlotte, you're in Atlanta. So what you doing in Atlanta? You dream chasing? What are you doing?
I'm just
What are you doing in Atlanta?
I don't know. I don't know what I was doing in Atlanta. I mean, I'm just like anybody that first moved to Atlanta.
Overwhelmed by the beauty.
Overwhelmed by the beauty.
By the beauty.
Just by life. The beauty of life.
Right.
Just hanging out, having fun. So yeah.
How old were you then, roughly?
Maybe
range
26.
Really? Oh, the turn up was real. So you came.
Yeah, but it was real because my wife, she moved down here also to take a job. But at that time she was just a girl I was chasing.
Dream chasing.
Yeah, so that's another reason that
Atlanta looked good.
Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, Atlanta looked good.
Okay. She's from Detroit, your wife? Okay.
We actually went to high school together.
Is that right? Man, so she's here. Your daughter's in Charlotte, so you're like, I need to just come because this will just bridge these gaps, right? I'm chasing my wife, soon to be future wife, chasing my wife. My daughter's in Charlotte. I need to come to Atlanta.
Yeah, and it was a lot of things that was going on in Detroit too. Like my best friend that just got locked up. So it was just like a real down time, you know, in my life. So it was definitely something had to happen. Right. But you know, once my best friend got locked up, right, that's when I kind of just made a decision.
Said you know? Okay, you needed something different.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come to Atlanta. What were you doing? What was your profession? Were you working, doing some kind of work?
Yeah, well, I did work here and there.
Yeah.
I was in the education field.
Okay.
So I worked at alternative school.
Okay.
For a while. So that was a challenge, but it was fun. All right. Because I could relate to the kids. So, yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to take a little break. Right. We're going to talk about a little bit more about Atlanta and when the music hit you. I think people want to understand, how did you really, like, we got the basketball situation down. That's good. But we want to understand, how did the music come into play and when did it get you? So when we come back, we'll talk more about that. Okay. We'll be back in a sec. Thanks.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Come closer, come closer, come closer. Come closer, come closer, come closer. Need you back, need you back, need you back, need you back, back. Need you back, need you back, need you back, need you back. And all the things that we do together, it's like magic, it's like a movie scene. Feels like heaven when you're holding me. It's like butterflies, feels like I'm falling. It's like chocolate when you're holding me. When you're holding me, come closer. I need to feel you. Come closer. I need to see you. Come closer. I need to feel you. Come closer. Come closer. Tell me you need me, not temporarily, not just a fantasy, but in reality. Tell me you love me, that you do anything just to keep me close to your heart, baby. Close to your heart, baby. Come closer, I need to feel you. Come closer. Come closer, need to feel you. Come closer, come closer. Tell me you need. Tell me you need. Come closer, come closer, come closer. Come closer, come closer, come closer, come closer, come closer. Need you back. And all the things that we do together, it's like magic, it's like a movie scene, feels like heaven when you're holding me.